The Ardent Hope drifted slowly through the fog-choked sector of space, its engines humming softly in the quiet emptiness. Stars seemed distant and dim behind the thick veil of cosmic mist that had earned this region its grim nickname, the Ghost Expanse. Sensors blinked uneasily, scanning endlessly. But most readings returned as nothing. The fog disrupted communication, navigation, and even the sharpest eyes of the crew. Every ship that entered this area carried a silent dread with it. Captain Ilara Voss sat in the command chair, fingers steepled under her chin as she studied the readings. Her brow furrowed slightly, not from fear, but curiosity. She was a human born to explore, to push boundaries where others hesitated. It was in her nature to trust her instincts, even when logic and AI whispered caution. "Captain," said Lieutenant Mara, the communications officer, her voice careful. "There's a faint signal ahead. It's weak, but consistent." Ilara leaned forward. The display flickered, showing a tiny point of light moving in the distance. "Show me." Coat. The view on the main screen shifted. In the fog, a lantern glimmered soft, steady, almost impossible in the endless black. It floated in space like a lonely eye searching for something. The crew exchanged nervous glances. "That can't be right," said Ensign Kale. "This sector hasn't had a ship in decades. Anything out here should be nothing but debris. Or worse." Ilara shook her head gently. "It's a ship, Kale. And it's sending a signal. Possibly from one of the lost vessels in the archives. I want a full scan and sensors to track its course. Prepare the boarding shuttle. We're investigating." The murmurs among the crew grew. Boarding a derelict ship in this fog was risky. The sensors could not penetrate the dense energy clouds, meaning the ship could hide damage, traps, or worse. But Ilara's voice carried authority that left little room for argument. She had always inspired confidence. Humans, she believed, had courage that no computer could replicate. As the Ardent Hope moved closer, the lantern's glow sharpened. It hung in the distance like a beacon. Yet it was unsettling. It seemed almost deliberate, as if it were pointing somewhere. No AI could explain it. The crew's scanners showed a ship that should have been a ghost, the Nocturne. Its hull was intact but aged, a relic of human exploration lost 15 years ago. 15 years, whispered Kale, almost to himself. "We thought it was gone forever." "How? Why?" Ilara's eyes never left the screen. "We don't know yet, but that's exactly why we're going to find out." The shuttle doors opened, and the small craft glided toward the derelict. The fog swallowed the vessel almost immediately. Inside the shuttle, the crew remained tense, each member aware of the unknown surrounding them. Lieutenant Mara monitored the shuttle's systems, keeping an anxious eye on the communication feed. "Distance closing," she reported. "Sensors are barely functioning, Captain. The fog is interfering with almost everything. Manual guidance recommended." Ilara nodded. "Keep your hands steady, everyone. Remember, humans adapt. Technology can fail, but courage and wit cannot." The shuttle nudged closer to the Nocturne. The faint glow of the lantern revealed more details. The ship's hull, though scarred by time and meteor dust, was intact. Its signature unmistakably human. The lantern floated ahead, seemingly waiting. "Docking sequence initiated," said Kale. "Engaging clamps now." The shuttle attached to the derelict with a gentle thud. The crew held their breath as the docking clamps locked in place. For a moment, there was nothing but silence, broken only by the soft hiss of the shuttle's life support systems. Ilara took a deep breath and activated the airlock. The outer door opened slowly, revealing the inside of the Nocturne. Dust motes floated in the weak light from the lantern. The ship smelled of cold metal and stale air, a ghostly echo of the life it once carried. "Keep your eyes open," Ilara said, her voice low but firm. "We don't know what we'll find. Stick together. Check every corridor." The crew moved cautiously, their footsteps echoed against the metal floors. Holographic lights flickered as old systems tried to awaken from long dormancy. The lantern's glow hovered ahead, pointing the way forward. It was almost as if the ship itself had a purpose, guiding them deeper into its bowels. "Captain," said Mara, pointing to a series of logs on the wall. "These appear to be the ship's mission records. They're partially corrupted, but we might be able to retrieve something." Ilara approached the console. With a few deft movements, she reactivated the system. Images and text filled the air. Holograms of the Nocturne's past crew appearing as distorted memories. They moved stiffly, repeating tasks that had been frozen in time. It was unnerving yet mesmerizing. "These logs," she said quietly. "They might tell us why the ship was lost. And why the lantern is still burning." Kale frowned. "It's alive, in a sense. Not like a ship should be." "Perhaps," Ilara said. "But humans built it. And humans created beacons for a reason. We'll find answers if we follow it carefully." As the crew advanced, the corridors grew narrower, the foggy light from the lantern reflecting off walls and casting strange shadows. Every step seemed to echo the tension that hung in the air. No one spoke unnecessarily. Every sound felt amplified, like the ship itself was listening. "Over here," Mara whispered, pointing to a hatch at the far end. The lantern's light seemed to brighten, emphasizing the path. Ilara led the way. The hatch opened into a control room, frozen in time. Screens displayed star charts, mission updates, and personal logs. A single command chair remained, empty, but the lantern hovered nearby, illuminating it as if guarding a memory. The crew gathered around. Ilara touched the controls cautiously. "Let's see what secrets you hold," she murmured. Data streamed in, revealing that the Nocturne had been on a deep exploration mission to chart uncharted sectors. The logs spoke of strange energy anomalies in the ghost expanse, areas that defied conventional physics. The final entries were fragmented, but a clear message emerged. The ship's crew had activated a lantern as a guidance beacon before losing contact with human command. "They wanted someone to find them," Kale said softly, awe in his voice. Ilara nodded. "And we did. That's why humans endure, Kale. Curiosity, courage, and determination keep us moving forward where others would retreat." A sudden flicker passed across the lantern. The crew instinctively froze. The light shifted direction, pointing deeper into the ship's interior, toward an area the logs had not mentioned. Ilara's eyes narrowed. "It wants us to follow. Whatever's ahead, it's part of the reason the ship is still here. Let's move carefully." But we go. The crew advanced, each member alert, hearts racing. The lantern's glow seemed alive, almost sentient, guiding them through the fog that filled both the ship and the sector outside. Every step revealed signs of the past crew. Personal items, half-finished meals, and tools frozen in time. It was haunting, yet there was a sense of purpose, as if the Nocturne had waited for the right humans to arrive. Hours or what felt like hours passed as they moved through the ship. Finally, they reached a chamber sealed by heavy doors. The lantern hovered directly in front, its glow steady, unwavering. Ilara placed her hand on the door controls. "This is it," she said. "This is what the ship wanted us to see." With a hiss, the doors opened. Inside, a room lined with consoles and strange machinery awaited. The walls were etched with symbols and diagrams that none of the crew fully understood. At the center, a large viewport revealed the fog outside, moving like a living ocean. And then, the lantern dimmed, as if acknowledging their arrival. Ilara stepped forward, awe in her eyes. "The ship has led us to something incredible. Whatever this is, it's a part of human history, and now it's part of ours." The crew looked around, anticipation and wonder written across their faces. They knew this was only the beginning. The Nocturne had waited decades for someone to uncover its secrets. And now, humans were ready to meet the challenge. The fog outside shifted, hiding the rest of the sector. But inside, the light of human courage burned brighter than any lantern. And for the first time in decades, the Nocturne was no longer a ghost. The lantern's glow pulsed softly, lighting the chamber with a gentle warmth that contrasted with the cold metal walls. Captain Alara Voss stepped closer, her eyes tracing the strange machinery and symbols etched into the surfaces. The room felt alive, though no one could explain why. The air smelled faintly of old electronics and polished metal, a reminder that humans had once walked these halls. Lieutenant Mara hovered near a console, her fingers moving quickly across the interface. "Captain," she said, "I can access some of the ship's internal records. The logs are fragmented, but there's something here about the ship's last mission." Alara nodded. "Do it. Every detail matters." The holographic screens flickered to life. Images and text swirled in the air, showing the last days of the Nocturne's crew. The ship had been exploring a region of space that defied conventional navigation. The logs mentioned strange gravitational anomalies, fluctuating energy fields, and unexpected fog pockets that interfered with sensors. "Listen to this," Mara said, reading aloud. "Captain Voss, we are entering an area where instruments cannot function reliably. Visibility is limited, but we must continue. The beacon must be maintained. If this message survives, it is for those who will find us." Ilara felt a shiver of awe. The humans who had once served on this ship had known the risks, yet they had pressed forward. Their courage, their persistence, was unmistakably human. It reminded her of why humanity endured in the harshness of space. Humans adapted, survived, and never stopped exploring. Kale stepped forward, his voice quiet. They left the lantern as a guide. They trusted someone would follow. That's amazing. Even after all this time, someone is guiding us. It's like they never really left. Ilara placed a hand on his shoulder. That's the human spirit, Kale. They knew their mission could end, but they prepared for the future. They trusted that curiosity and courage would carry someone forward. That's what we are doing now. The crew spent hours combing through the logs, piecing together the ship's story. They learned that the Nocturne had encountered a massive anomaly in the ghost expanse, a swirling fog of energy that distorted space and time. The anomaly had trapped the crew in a sector where sensors failed and communication was nearly impossible. They were explorers, just like us, Mara said softly. They faced the unknown, and they didn't turn back, even when the odds were against them. Ilara nodded. And now we are following their path. That's why humans survive where others fail. Curiosity drives us. Courage keeps us moving. Ingenuity helps us adapt. As they studied the logs, the lantern began to shift. Slowly, it floated toward a narrow corridor that extended deeper into the ship. The crew hesitated for a moment, unsure what awaited them. Ilara stepped forward, her voice steady. We follow it. Carefully. But we move. The ship wants us to see something. And we will. The corridor was tight and winding, the walls lined with pipes, cables, and old panels. The fog from the outer sector seemed to seep through tiny cracks, filling the hall with a ghostly mist. Every sound echoed unnaturally, making each step feel heavier than it was. Keep your eyes open, Ilara said. Watch for structural weaknesses and stay alert. We don't know what this fog could do inside the ship. The crew moved in formation, their steps synchronized and cautious. The lantern's glow illuminated markings on the walls, symbols that seemed to correspond with the ship's internal mapping system. Mara noticed it first. These symbols, they're guiding us. Like a map drawn in light, she said, her voice filled with awe. Ilara smiled faintly. Humans always find a way to leave messages for the future. It's a strength no AI can replicate. Intuition, experience, and creativity, they leave a mark that lasts beyond their time. As they continued, the corridor widened into a large chamber filled with consoles, storage units, and equipment that looked decades old. The lantern hovered in the center, its light steady. Kale approached one of the consoles, brushing dust from its surface. Some of this tech is ancient, but it still functions, partially. Ilara studied the room. It's a treasure trove of human knowledge. We need to document everything. It may help us understand what happened here, and it could teach us new ways to survive and adapt in the fog. The crew set up temporary scanners, capturing data and recording the room's contents. Holographic images of the ship's past crew flickered to life on some displays. They were frozen in moments of routine, adjusting instruments, recording observations, maintaining the ship, but something felt strange. "They're like ghosts," Mara said, but not in a scary way. "It's peaceful. They wanted to be remembered. They wanted someone to find them." Alara nodded. "And now they have. That's the power of humanity. Even in the darkest places, we leave traces of who we are. Knowledge, courage, hope. They persist." The lantern shifted again, pointing toward another doorway, partially obscured by old cargo containers. The crew moved carefully, brushing aside dust and debris. Beyond the doorway was a spiral staircase leading downward. "This is getting deeper than I expected," Kale murmured. Alara's expression was thoughtful. "Deeper is where the answers are. Stay focused. Humans survive by facing the unknown, not by avoiding it." They descended the stairs, the fog thickening around them. It clung to their suits and reflected the lantern's light, making shadows dance along the walls. The silence was almost complete, broken only by the faint hum of old machinery and the crew's footsteps. At the bottom, they entered a large chamber. It was filled with containers, equipment, and panels displaying data. The lantern hovered near a console that seemed more active than the others. Mara approached it carefully. "Captain, this console, it's like it's waiting for us. Some of the systems are still online. I think we can access them." Ilara stepped forward. "Do it. Let's see what the ship wants to show us." Mara's fingers danced across the console, and data streamed into holographic projections. Maps of the ghost expanse appeared, showing areas previously uncharted. There were notes about gravitational anomalies, energy readings, and unexplained phenomena. "This is incredible," Kale said. "These humans mapped areas we didn't even know existed. Their records could change how we navigate this sector." Ilara's eyes gleamed. "Exactly. This is why humans endure. We don't just survive. We explore, adapt, and improve. We leave knowledge for those who follow. It's in our nature." As they studied the projections, the lantern shifted again. It floated toward a small hatch, partially hidden behind machinery. The crew exchanged glances. "This could be dangerous," Kale said. "We don't know what's behind that hatch." Ilara's voice was firm. "We proceed. Carefully. Humans don't let fear stop them from discovering the truth. That's why we explore. That's why we survive. And that's why we thrive." The hatch opened with a hiss, revealing a narrow passage. The lantern floated ahead, lighting the way. The crew moved cautiously. Every step, careful, but determined. The passage led to a smaller chamber. In the center was a strange device, unlike anything the crew had seen before. It hummed softly, and its surface shimmered with faint energy patterns. The lantern hovered near it, as if emphasizing its importance. Mara studied the device. "Captain, this could be some kind of energy regulator. The logs mentioned stabilizing fields in the ghost expanse. This might be it." Ilara nodded. "It could be the key to understanding why the Nocturne was lost. It might also explain why the lantern stayed lit all this time. Humans designed systems to survive and guide others, even when they themselves could not return." Kale approached the device cautiously. "If this is what I think it is, it could help us navigate the fog safely. But we need to be careful. We don't know what activating it might do." Ilara placed a hand on his shoulder. "That's why humans work together. Courage alone is not enough. We combine it with wisdom, cooperation, and careful planning. That's how we achieve the impossible." As Mara and Kale worked to understand the device, the lantern pulsed gently. It seemed almost alive, a reminder that the ship's crew had left more than just machinery behind. They had left guidance, hope, and trust in the humans who would come after them. Hours passed as the crew studied the chamber and its contents. Every discovery reinforced their understanding of human ingenuity and persistence. The Nocturne had survived in this ghostly expanse not by accident, but by careful design, by the foresight of those who had once walked its halls. Alara finally looked around at her crew. We've only begun to uncover its secrets. But already, we see what humans are capable of. Courage, intelligence, and curiosity, these are our greatest tools. The Nocturne shows us that no matter how lost we seem, knowledge and hope can guide us home. The lantern's glow remained steady, lighting the chamber in a soft, reassuring light. It was more than a beacon. It was a symbol of human persistence, a reminder that even in the darkest corners of space, humanity leaves traces that endure. Alara knew this was just the beginning. The Nocturne had more to show them, and the ghost expanse held mysteries that only humans could face. She felt a sense of pride and determination. They would continue, guided by the lantern, by human courage, and by the knowledge that even in the void, humans endure. And somewhere in the silence of the ship, the light pulsed gently, pointing the way forward. The lantern's glow pulsed steadily, casting long shadows across the chamber as the crew of the Ardent Hope studied the strange energy device. Its hum filled the air, gentle but persistent, as if it were alive. Captain Alara Voss traced her fingers along the edge of the console near the device. Feeling the faint vibration it gave off, she had seen many things in her career, but this was unlike anything she had ever encountered. Lieutenant Mara tapped at the interface, her eyes wide with concentration. Captain, the system is partially responsive. I think it's designed to stabilize or map the fog outside, but it's more advanced than anything in our database. If we understand it, it could let us navigate the ghost expanse safely. Alara nodded. Good. KL, see if you can interface the device with our shuttle's systems. If we can merge the technology, we might finally have a way to move freely through this fog. Kale knelt at the console, carefully connecting the shuttle's portable interface to the ancient device. Sparks of data flowed between the two systems, flickering across holographic screens. Numbers and symbols appeared, incomprehensible at first, but slowly, patterns began to emerge. This is incredible, Kale said, astonishment in his voice. It's mapping energy flows in real time and predicting safe pathways. It's like the ship was alive in a way we can't fully explain. The lantern. It's guiding us toward the optimal route. Alara smiled faintly. Humans built it. They left a trail, a plan for the future. That's the strength of our species. Ingenuity, foresight, and persistence. AI could never anticipate this level of foresight. Only humans could. The crew worked in silence for a while, studying the holographic maps projected by the device. The ghost expanse outside was no longer just a foggy void. It was a living puzzle of energy currents, gravitational distortions, and anomalies that twisted space. Any wrong move could trap a ship or send it spinning into unknown regions. Mara's voice broke the silence. Captain, the lantern is moving again. It's pointing toward a side corridor that wasn't on our maps before. Alara studied the chamber. Then that's where we go. Carefully. Humans survive the unknown because we face it together. We adapt. We solve what others fear. The crew followed the lantern, stepping carefully through the narrow corridor. The air felt colder here, the fog pressing against the walls and clinging to their suits. Shadows flickered with every movement, making familiar shapes appear strange and unfamiliar. This fog inside the ship is odd, Kale murmured. It behaves differently than the sector outside. Almost alive. Alara placed a hand on his shoulder. That's why humans rely on more than sensors. Instinct, observation, teamwork. These keep us alive when technology alone fails. Watch, listen, think. That's how we navigate the impossible. Oblico. Even. Oblico. Temperament. The corridor opened into a wider chamber. It was filled with stacked containers and old machinery, half buried in dust and cobwebs. The lantern hovered above a console at the far end, pulsing as if insisting the crew approach. Mara approached the console and brushed away years of dust. These readings, they're enormous. The energy flows outside the ship are intense, but they're also predictable. If we use this device, we can navigate safely through the worst of the ghost expanse. Kale knelt beside her. Captain, this could change everything. Other ships avoid this sector completely. But with this technology, humans could map it, explore it, and even make it safe for future crews. Elara's eyes shone with determination. Exactly. Humans endure because we take risks and turn them into opportunity. This is our chance to prove it once again. The lantern pulsed brighter, almost impatiently, as if urging them forward. Following its light, the crew made their way to a narrow hatch, partially hidden behind stacked crates. The lantern floated before it, stationary, as if waiting for them to act. This is new, Kale said. We haven't seen a path like this before. Are we sure we want to go in? Elara stepped forward. Yes. Humans survive because we trust our skills and each other. This is our path. We move together, carefully, but we move. They opened the hatch to find a spiral staircase descending further into the ship. Dust swirled around their boots as they moved downward, and the hum of the lantern seemed to grow louder. The walls here were covered in strange symbols and diagrams, etched deep enough to withstand decades of neglect. Mara studied them. These symbols, they seemed to describe energy flows in the fog outside. The crew of the Nocturne mapped the expanse using their own observations. They understood patterns we can only guess at. Elara nodded. That's why humans endure. We learn, we record, we pass on knowledge to those who come after us, and when others would give up, we push further. At the bottom of the stairs, the crew entered another chamber. This one was vast, with walls lined with panels, machines, and strange glowing conduits. In the center hovered a small device, pulsing softly, and the lantern remained near it, illuminating the area with steady light. Kale approached carefully. This looks like some kind of energy regulator. If we can activate it, we might stabilize sections of the fog outside. That would allow ships to pass safely. Elara studied it. It's designed for humans who follow humans. Someone trusted that others would come and finish what they started. That's how we survive, Kale. Not because we avoid danger, but because we adapt to it. Mara connected her interface to the device, fingers moving swiftly. Holographic displays lit up, showing energy patterns, currents, and potential pathways through the ghost expanse. Captain, Mara said, this is amazing. We could navigate entire regions that were previously impossible. The Nocturne's crew left more than just data. They left a path forward, and the lantern, it's still guiding us. Elara smiled. Humans endure because we leave clues for the future. For those willing to continue. Courage, creativity, and persistence, these are our strengths. And we are using all three right now. As they studied the device, the lantern shifted again, pointing toward a small side hatch. The crew hesitated for a moment, knowing that any unexplored path could hold dangers. But the light was insistent, steady, and guiding. Elara took a deep breath. We follow. Carefully. Humans survive by facing the unknown, not avoiding it. That's what we do. The hatch opened to reveal a narrow passage lined with pipes and old panels. The fog here was thicker, clinging to their suits and flowing like a living thing. Shadows flickered along the walls, making familiar objects appear strange and alien. This fog feels different, Kale said. It's almost like it's reacting to us. Elara nodded. Then we use our minds, our senses, and each other. Humans survive because we rely on more than technology. We observe, we think, we act, and we never stop. In 22.4. Our game to Azar. We haven't.com. Our game to Azar. We haven't.com. The passage opened into another chamber, larger than the previous ones. It was filled with consoles, strange machinery, and panels glowing softly with residual power. The lantern hovered above a central console, pulsing rhythmically. Mara approached it. "Captain, this system seems connected to the energy device we saw earlier. It may amplify its effects, allow us to control larger areas of the fog." Kale studied the panels. "If we can activate it safely, we could create safe corridors through the ghost expanse. Ships that were once trapped or lost could navigate freely. Humans could reclaim this sector." Elara nodded, pride and determination in her eyes. "Exactly. Humans endure because we turn the impossible into the possible. We adapt. We innovate. We survive where others fail." They spent hours studying the system, connecting it to the device, and understanding its functions. The lantern remained near the console, steady and bright, as if approving their progress. Finally, Mara looked up, eyes shining. "Captain, I think we're ready. We can activate it and test the pathways. It might be risky, but it could work." Elara placed a hand on the console. "Then we do it, carefully, with skill and caution. Humans endure because we face challenges head-on. That's what we've always done, and that's what we will do now." With a soft hum, the device powered up. Energy flowed through the conduits, pulsing with light and power. The fog outside the ship shifted slightly, responding to the device. Holographic displays projected safe pathways, showing areas previously impossible to traverse. Kale stepped back, awe in his voice. "It's working. The lantern, the device, the system, they're all guiding us. Humans could use this to explore safely, where others fear to go." Elara smiled. "That's why humans endure. Courage, ingenuity, and the willingness to face the unknown. That's what keeps us alive. And that's what makes us strong." The lantern's glow pulsed once more, steady and bright. It had guided them through the derelict ship, helped them uncover knowledge, and pointed the way toward a future filled with possibility. Elara looked at her crew, pride swelling in her chest. "We've uncovered the Nocturne's secrets. But more importantly, we've seen what humans are capable of. Knowledge, courage, adaptability, they endure. And now, so do we." The chamber was quiet, save for the soft hum of the device and the gentle pulse of the lantern. The crew knew that the challenges were not over. But for the first time, they felt a deep sense of confidence. Humans had survived in this ghostly sector because of ingenuity and determination, and they would continue to thrive. The lantern pulsed gently, a reminder that human courage could light even the darkest paths, that ingenuity could solve impossible problems, and that the future belonged to those who dared to follow the unknown. And with that, the crew of the Ardent Hope prepared to test the pathways through the fog, ready to face whatever the ghost expanse could throw at them, guided by the light of human courage and the wisdom of those who had come before. The Ardent Hope floated gently in the dim fog of the ghost expanse, guided by the steady pulse of the lantern that had led them through the Nocturne. The energy pathways revealed by the ship's ancient device glimmered on the holographic displays, showing safe corridors through a space that had long been thought impossible to navigate. Captain Elara Voss stood in the center of the control room, her eyes reflecting the soft light of the lantern, her mind alive with possibilities. "Captain," Lieutenant Mara said, excitement and awe in her voice. "The pathways are stable. If we follow them, we can move through the expanse safely. The Nocturne system is working perfectly." Elara nodded. "Then it's time. Prepare the shuttle. We're going to test the first corridor. Humans survive because we act, not just observe. Knowledge without action accomplishes nothing." Kale checked the shuttle's systems one last time. All engines are ready, shields are optimal, and navigation is synced with the device. The lantern is still leading the way. "Good," Elara said. "Stay alert. The ghost expanse may have surprises, but humans endure because we trust our senses, our judgment, and each other." We adapt where others falter. The shuttle glided smoothly from the nocturne, the lantern floating ahead like a steadfast guide. Outside, the fog was thick and heavy, swirling in patterns that seemed almost alive. Energy flows shifted unpredictably, but the pathways revealed by the device shimmered faintly, showing safe zones amid the chaos. As they moved forward, the crew watched intently. The corridor ahead narrowed, twisting in ways that would have made conventional navigation impossible. Sensors struggled, but the device compensated, projecting the optimal route. "This is incredible," Kale murmured. "The lantern and the system together. They're guiding us through areas no one else could ever explore." Elara smiled. "That's why humans endure. Courage and ingenuity allow us to overcome obstacles that seem insurmountable." The Nocturne's crew prepared for the future, and now it's our turn to carry it forward. The shuttle moved carefully, every adjustment precise. Mara monitored the readings, noting subtle energy fluctuations. "Captain, the fog is reacting to us. The device predicts minor turbulence ahead, but the pathway is still safe. Humans have never relied solely on technology. We use it alongside our judgment." Elara's eyes narrowed thoughtfully. "Exactly. Observation, adaptation, teamwork. These are human strengths. Technology alone cannot replace them. We move forward because we are humans, and humans endure." As they traveled deeper into the expanse, the fog thickened further, making the shuttle seem smaller and more fragile amid the vast emptiness. Shadows shifted in strange ways, and occasional bursts of light danced across the haze. Yet the lantern remained constant, a fixed point in a sea of uncertainty. Hours passed as they navigated through the ghostly corridors. The crew's confidence grew with every successful maneuver. Even Kael, who had initially expressed hesitation, now moved with a quiet assurance born from experience and trust in the guidance they had been given. "Captain," Mara said finally, "we're approaching an area not on any charts. The device shows an opening. It looks like some kind of structure." Elara leaned closer to the display. "Structure? In the middle of the expanse? Show me." The holographic projection revealed a large, partially concealed installation, glowing faintly through the fog. It was human-made, ancient, yet maintained in remarkable condition by some long-forgotten systems. "An outpost," Kael said softly. "Someone built this, but no records mention it. It must have been established by explorers who disappeared. Maybe the Nocturne's crew, or their contemporaries." Elara's lips curved in a small smile. "Humans endure because we leave paths for those who follow. This outpost is proof. It's been waiting, just as the lantern guided us. We are the ones who came to continue what they started." The shuttle approached cautiously, guided by the lantern and the energy maps. The installation's entrance opened automatically, as if it had been expecting them. They docked, and the crew stepped inside, greeted by quiet lights, hums of machinery, and a sense of anticipation. "This place," Mara whispered. "It's incredible. It's been untouched for decades, yet the systems are still active." Elara's eyes shone. "It was built for humans who follow humans. The Nocturne's crew and others ensured that knowledge and guidance would survive. That's why humans endure. We prepare for the future, and we act when the time comes." The crew moved through the outpost, discovering living quarters, command consoles, and laboratories filled with data and equipment. Holographic projections flickered to life, showing maps of the ghost expanse, energy readings, and logs from previous explorers. "These logs, they're from multiple crews," Kael said. "They were documenting the sector, coordinating efforts, preparing for someone to follow. And that someone was us." Elara's voice was calm but filled with pride. "Exactly. Humans endure because we learn from those who came before and use it to create new possibilities. Courage, curiosity, and wisdom guide us forward." Mara accessed a console near the entrance. "Captain, the outpost's main systems are still operational. We can extend the energy pathways, create stable corridors through the expanse, and even communicate with other sectors. Alara's smile widened. Then let's do it. Humans endure because we take knowledge and turn it into action. We don't just survive. We thrive and leave guidance for the future. That's what we are doing now. The crew worked tirelessly, interfacing the outpost's systems with the device from the Nocturne. Energy flows outside. The ship shifted, responding to the guidance. Safe corridors began to form, mapping routes that were once impossible to traverse. Hours turned into a full cycle as they labored, but the results were undeniable. Holographic projections of the expanse now glowed with safe pathways, guiding ships and explorers alike. "This is remarkable," Kale said, awe in his voice. "Humans could navigate areas once thought impossible. The expanse is no longer a void to fear, it's a frontier to explore." Alara nodded, her eyes reflecting the glow of the lantern. "Humans endure because we face the unknown. We explore, we adapt, we learn, and we leave paths for others. Courage, intelligence, and persistence define us. And now, this sector belongs to those who dare to follow the light." The lantern floated above the central console, pulsing gently. Its glow was steady, calm, and reassuring, as if acknowledging their accomplishment. It had guided them through danger, illuminated the unknown, and led them to humanity's forgotten outpost. "This lantern," Mara said softly. "It's more than a guide. It's a symbol of everything humans stand for: hope, courage, and perseverance. It has brought us here." Alara placed her hand on the console, feeling the faint hum of energy beneath her fingers. "Exactly. Humans endure because we carry knowledge forward. We act when others hesitate. We persist where others falter. And we inspire those who come after us." The crew spent the next cycle documenting everything, recording the energy pathways, mapping the outpost, and ensuring the systems would remain active for the future. Every detail mattered, because humans understood that survival was not just about themselves, it was about preparing for the generations to come. Kale watched the glowing pathways on the holographic displays. "Captain, ships in other sectors could now navigate this fog safely. Human exploration could expand like never before. This is incredible." Alara's eyes shone with quiet pride. "Incredible, yes, but also expected. Humans endure because we push limits, because we face the unknown, and because we trust our courage and ingenuity. This is our legacy, and now we have made it permanent." As they completed their work, the lantern pulsed once more, steady and bright. It hovered above the central console, then slowly dimmed, as if its mission was complete. It had guided them to knowledge, to safety, and to humanity's future. Mara watched it fade. "It's done. It's fulfilled its purpose," Alara nodded. "Yes, and now it is our turn to continue the journey. Humans endure because we act, because we explore, and because we trust in each other. The lantern guided us, but we carried the courage. That's what makes humans remarkable." The crew of the Ardent Hope gathered together, looking out at the ghost expanse through the outpost's viewport. The fog still swirled, but now it was no longer a barrier. It was a challenge they had mastered, a frontier opened by courage, ingenuity, and persistence. "This is just the beginning," Kale said quietly. "With these pathways, humans could explore the entire expanse safely." Alara smiled. "And that is what we will do. Humans endure because we follow the unknown, because we trust in our abilities, and because we never give up. This is who we are. This is why we thrive." The outpost systems hummed steadily, the holographic pathways glowing, and the legacy of the Nocturne carried on through the actions of those who had come after. Humanity had not only survived, it had illuminated the path for future explorers, proving once again that courage, curiosity, and perseverance could conquer even the most mysterious and dangerous corners of space. And in the quiet glow of the central console, the crew understood a simple truth: humans endure because they refuse to be bound by fear. They explore, they adapt, they lead, and they leave behind a light to guide those who follow. The ghost expanse, once feared as a place where ships disappeared and hope faded, was now alive with the potential of human courage. Safe pathways glimmered in the fog, waiting for the explorers who would follow, guided by the ingenuity and determination that defined humanity. The lantern may have dimmed, but the light it inspired would never fade. It had shown the crew of the ardent hope that humans endure, that curiosity conquers fear, and that even in the darkest corners of space, the spirit of humanity shines brighter than any star. And with that, Captain Alara Voss led her crew onward, into the unknown, confident that humanity's courage would guide them through any challenge, no matter how vast, mysterious, or uncertain.